What's changed in the studio work I've done in the last 20 years is people don't want to pay you as much money. Well, here's the thing. Anyone that tells you that studio work is the same as it was 20 years ago is lying. They are lying, lying, lying. It's not even my opinion, it's a fact. And you look at the numbers as far as what people sell as far as records. Those have shrunk considerably due to the internet and due to people getting it for free, stealing stuff, making, all that has affected the record industry and record budgets, pretty significantly, And record budgets aren't the same as they used to be, so they can't pay studio musicians the same as they used to or for specific things. So I will say this. I found in the last 10, 15 years, because it was slower for me to notice the change too, because luckily I've been in a good position where I've been kind of in a top tier of session players in LA. So I was kind of the last one to get affected by it. You know what I mean? I think that the people that I work with now and the sessions that I do end up doing, I think overall the quality is better. And I think because there's fewer people with the big record budgets or decent record budgets, whereas 20 years ago, everyone was getting signed and everyone was getting a big record budget, whether they were that great or not. So let's say I make a record with Avril Lavigne, right? That's cool, but now I'm making 10 other records with 10, like half as good of Avril Lavigne's that are gonna be next in line. And so I'm playing with these people that really sure, I'm getting paid great and I'm making a living. And to be honest, a lot of times it's my relationship I have with the producer. Let's say you're my friend and you're a producer, you call me, hey Josh, I really need your help on this record and I can pay you well, but not only am I getting paid well, but I want to help my buddy out and go, okay, he wants to make the best record he can make, so I don't even care so much about this artist who maybe I've never heard of, maybe he's a brand new artist, maybe it's an artist that I know of but don't really like that much, but my buddy's producing it, my friend's producing it, I'm gonna help them out and I'm gonna get paid well in the meantime. Of course I'm gonna go do that, right? But there's times I'd be driving home from sessions going, God, I hate music right now. Because I'm playing so much crap. I was getting paid so much money playing so much crap. It was hard to say no. Kind of the seduction of getting paid, pretty good quantities of money to go up and do shit that was pretty easy. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. It wasn't really taking me out of this kind of comfort zone of mine very often. It was kind of like, I was like, punching the clock for sure on some of those things. Always giving it my all, never showing up and kind of not caring. Always really trying to do my best. But it ends up being a little bit soul-sucking, when you're doing all that stuff. And also, I gotta admit, aside from the relationships I have with producers and being grateful to be able to play on stuff, well, I guess that's what it's coming back to, is being grateful to be able to make a living as a musician. So when you do get, also free, I know I'm skipping all over the place, I've had about 19 coffees today. Also being a freelance musician, you're kind of programmed early on to say yes to everything. You just say yes. You never know when the phone's gonna stop ringing, right? That's the big thing, my phone's gonna stop ringing. You're always afraid the phone's gonna stop ringing. But also, I tell people when they're younger especially and they're trying to break into studio work or, being a freelance drummer, I would say do as much stuff as you can. And even if it's not music that you love, if it's something that you really don't like and you're gonna have to do a lot of it and it's really taking a toll, then don't do that. But if it's a one-off in the studio or even a couple days with an artist, I go do it because you might not like that specific artist or that genre of music, but you know what, the engineer you meet that day might pull you aside and go, God, I'm making this record next week with so-and-so, you'd be perfect. And so you create these relationships just by, it still happens to me, just by leaving the house sometimes and going to studio. I played on some crummy, a song for a TV show or a film or something a couple years back. I'm just gonna give you this quick story. And as I'm leaving the studio, doing this thing that really didn't mean a whole lot to me musically, and my friend was involved in it, and I got paid, and I went and did it. I'm leaving the studio and I run into my friend Brendan O'Brien, record producer extraordinaire. Pearl Jam, Rage Against the Machine, Son of a Pilot, so right down the line, everybody, right? And he goes, oh, what are you doing here? I said, oh, I played on this commercial for whatever, a soft drink or something. He goes, I thought you were out of town. I'm making a record with Brandon from Incubus and we were just talking about you yesterday. Can you come in and play tomorrow? I was like, actually I can. We need you on these 2 songs. Great. So you play the 2 songs and they go, oh, that was easy. You want to do some more? Next thing you know, I'm making the whole record. But I wouldn't have made that record if I hadn't said yes to the song for the television show that was like kind of silly. But I got to make this great record with Brendan O'Brien and Brandon Boyd, 2 great guys that I like a lot, admire. And next thing you know, wow, I'm making a really cool record, you know? So just getting out of the house and going and putting yourself out there in situations, like I said, unless it's really detrimental to your mental state and is really horrible, then don't do that, you know? But don't get too precious about what you kind of decided to do or not do, especially kind of in the first half of your career, you know? One of my, I should say what I consider a luxury for me these days is saying no for the first time to certain things and being okay saying, you know what, I don't have time to do that specific session. Now maybe that evening I was free, but if I'm working 4 days before and I'm going out of town the following day, I should probably be home with my family that night, right? Now the old me would be like, I'll do it, I don't care, I'm gonna work 24/7, you know? And I did do that for a long time. And I think having the luxury of saying no to things once in a while is liberating, because I've said yes to everything my entire life and still say yes to most of it, you know? So, but still, once again, oh wow, I'm getting to play drums, you're gonna pay me? How much for how long? Shit, of course I'd do that. You know, even if it is an artist that I don't love necessarily, you know?